Everyone, this is Robbie Small Animation Bliss, and welcome to another Animation Highlights Corner. Actually, it's been pretty much a while since I did a last Animation Highlights Corner. I mean, the last time I did like an Animation Highlights Corner was like, what, 2017? That long ago? Wow, that was a long time ago. But yeah, I wanted to talk about animation for this year because this year was a really interesting year for animation, and I just have to talk about everything that went on with animation this year. But before we get started, of course, I'm going to start with the usual. New videos will be posted up every Sunday and Monday, and that's all you need to know. But if you happen to see any videos posted up through the week, that must mean there was a bit of anime news that we wanted to talk about, and so on and so forth. So let's move into this topic about the animation highlights of 2019. So as I mentioned before, 2019 was a really interesting year for animation. Like you got a lot of experimental animation going on. Like you have web animation, you had animation from Netflix, you got some animation from movie theaters, which we already know about. But yeah, you got animation from all over the world coming in and doing something different with the animation genre. So that was pretty cool. That was like the most awesome part of 2019 for animation. We were able to see all these different kind of animations and see just what they can do. So of course, I'm going to start this video off with the negatives because, I don't want to end this video on a negative note. I want to end this video on a high note. I don't want people to be like, oh, wow, all these awesome things happen to animation. And then I go to the negatives. It's like, oh, all these terrible things happen in animation. Well, I feel sad. So yeah, I don't want that kind of reaction. So we're going to start with the negatives first. Actually, there's not that many negative things that happened in animation this year, except for two box office bombs, and they were Arctic Dogs and Playmobil the movie. So I actually did two videos about this. I did a video about Arctic Dogs bombing, and I did a video about Playmobil movie bombing. So if you want to see my opinions about those two films bombing, then check out my video right there. It's right there. See? Check them out. Anyway, so Arctic Dogs only made back $8 million on its $50 million budget, while Playmobil movie only made back like $670,000 on its own budget. That's like low for both movies. It's like the box office walls are like tore down completely. It's like they just obliterated them. It's like they didn't make any money back, and it's like they're considered the worst movies of all time because of that. Now, I haven't seen either movie, so I really don't know what they're like. But yeah, looking at the box office numbers alone, they didn't do that well. So yeah, that was probably the only bad thing I know of from this year. But anyway, let's go on to the positives now. So Frozen 2, as usual, broke record. It beat its record for the first movie. So now it's like the highest grossing animated film of all time, I think. So that's pretty cool. I didn't see Frozen 2 yet, but I mean, I kind of figured this was going to happen because it's Frozen. Everybody loves Frozen. So of course everybody was going to see Frozen 2. And I heard a lot of things about it, like it's more serious than the first movie, which is a must for me regarding movies that try to go into deeper storylines. So yeah, I'm up for that. I'm game for that. I hope to see Frozen 2 sometime down the line. So the next positive thing that happened, and I'm going to bring these two together because they both premiere on Netflix, and that's both Klaus and Green Eggs and Ham have performed on Netflix. Now, you're probably wondering, why is this such a big deal? Why do I care about Green Eggs and Ham? Why do I care about Klaus? That's because Klaus and Green Eggs and Ham were both traditionally animated films. Traditionally animated films, you say? Yeah, they were. It's been a while since we've seen a traditional animated film actually come back into the mainstream audience. Well, sort of. I mean, if you consider Netflix a mainstream audience, but the fact that Netflix was able to pick up these two shows and put them on their own streaming service was a sight to behold. I mean, I was like, yes, 2D animation's back, baby. It doesn't have to be in the obscurity anymore. We could watch more 2D animation again because of these two projects that were done for Netflix, because of Klaus, because of Green Eggs and Ham. And I have to say that both shows were awesome. They rock. I love both of them. So, yeah, definitely props to Green Eggs and Ham and Klaus for coming on Netflix and making the world of 2D animation a better place. And then next, of course, we got Rocko's Modern Life and Invader Zim premiering on Netflix with their own movies. And this is a good thing for us 90s kids. If you grew up with Rocko and Invader Zim in the 90s, okay, well, technically, if you grew up with Rocko in the 90s and Invader Zim in the early 2000s, yeah, because that's how it goes. But anyway, if you grew up with either of those shows as a kid, then you'll definitely enjoy these two revival movies like Rocko's Small Life, Static Cling, and Invaders Zim Enter the Floorpits because they were awesome. I love them. Like, they gave me lots of good feel. It felt like I was going back to my childhood watching these shows again, and they progressed the characters. And if you want to see more about my reviews about these two franchises, then check out the reviews here. They're right there for your viewing pleasure. You should check them out. But yeah, the fact that Netflix was able to bring these shows to their streaming service gives me hope that Nickelodeon is going to bring back some of their older cartoons. Maybe we could get Angry Beavers, the old movie, that Respooted movie that I've been talking about for years that they haven't done yet. Come on, Nickelodeon, do it. I need an Angry Beavers Respooted revival in my life now. Please make that happen. And then we got Steven Universe, the movie. So, old Steven Universe has got his own movie. Finally, after so many years of being on Cartoon Network, I haven't seen the movie yet, so I can't really say if it's good or not. But the fact that Steven Universe got a movie in the first place is awesome. I love Steven Universe, and I'm glad that All Boys got his own movie again. Yes! And then the last good thing that happened this year, or it could be a bad thing depending on how you view this movie, is that The Lion King, the live action remake, has become one of the highest grossing animated films of all time. Yeah. So this is a live action movie, and yet they're considering this as an animated movie? What is up with that? I don't get that. Why are you considering the 2019 version of Lion King to be animated when it's live action? I never understood that. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So that's why this one's kind of like love it or hate it kind of sort of news. You know, you could either say, hey, yip yip hooray, this is actually a good thing because I love the 2019 remake of Lion King. Or you could say, this is a bad thing because you'll be like, well, this movie sucks. You know, why should I care about this live action remake? And why are you talking about a live action movie in the Cartoon Channel? Well, okay, yeah. Let's leave it at that. So anyway, those were the highs and the lows for animation 2019. I must say, 2019 was a really interesting year for animation. Even though we had some box office bombs this year, we had a lot of great animation that came out this year, and a lot of experimental animation coming out this year. And most important of all, we got a lot of revivals from old TV shows that we all grew up with and all got canceled for no good reason. Seriously, guys, why cancel these good shows in the first place? But yeah, 2019 was an interesting year, and I can't wait to see what 2020 is going to hold for the world of animation. Well, that's all the news for the year of animation. And tell me in the comments down below, what did you guys think about animation 2019? Do you think it was a good year for animation? Did you think it was a horrible year for animation? Or do you think it was like a little in between? Because we got to have a little in between love here. Please feel free to comment down below. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter so we can keep you updated on new videos we post up. And also, like our Facebook page because we want the likes because, yeah, we need those likes. And please join the new Facebook group Chat with Animation Bliss where we talk about animation with other animation fans because we want to make another animation group on Facebook. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Robbie Swall Animation Bliss, and I'll see you guys later.
Excuse me. I know I just wrapped up the video that said animated highlights of 2019, but there was a couple of animated projects that I didn't mention before in the previous video that I wanted to talk about right now because I just didn't feel like getting in front of the camera again since I already put up everything, and I just wanted to go ahead and just talk through this mic for a while and tell you some other animated projects that happened in 2019 that I didn't get around to. Hey, when you have so many anime projects that come out in 2019, it's like really hard to try to go and talk about all of them in one video. It's just really hard. So anyway, here are some two other anime projects that came out in 2019 that I forgot to talk about in the original video. So the first one is that Genndy Tartakovsky. Oh man, I probably butchered his last name. I'm sorry, Genndy. But anyway, Genndy Tartakovsky's series Primo had just premiered this year. Now, as of this video, I haven't seen the series yet, so I don't know what the series is all about. But from the looks of it, it looks like it's going to be like Kogoff of Barbarian, which is the series that I have seen before in the past, and I loved it to death. Darn you, Cartoon Network, why did you cancel that show? Anyway, Primal looks really interesting, and I'm surprised that I didn't notice about this show when I was talking about the animation highlights of 2019. Seriously, Brain, you're not working today, aren't you? This series seems pretty interesting, and I can't wait to see this series whenever I get the chance to. And the second thing I wanted to talk about is the premieres of Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss. And those two series were created by Vizzy Pop, and you should definitely check out her channel. It's awesome. She makes a lot of awesome animations on the web, so definitely check it out if you're a web animation fan. But anyway, the reason why these two series were so important was because they kind of describe how the direction that web animation is going in the near future. Like, I never would have thought that web animation would be as popular as it is now, which is pretty cool because I think web animation needed some more loving, and this year definitely gave web animation the love that it really needed in the last few years. But with the premieres of Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss, the reason why these two particular web animations were so important this year was because they both broke like over 1 million views in just a few days. 1 million views in just a few days. Man, I wish my YouTube videos got that many views in one day. But anyway, this is really important for web animation because, again, web animation hasn't really been taken seriously by the animation market, and now you finally have another way to bring animation to the market besides through movies and television. Now you can bring animation through the internet, and this will also allow a lot of people who want to get into animation actually just go ahead and do animation online without any restrictions from the big companies, like, oh, this series has to be kid friendly, or this series had to do this and that. And the good thing about web animation is that, yeah, we don't have to follow those kind of rules. We could just do whatever we want with these animated characters that we created ourselves. So it's a good thing that web animation is becoming bigger this year, especially with the arrival of Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss. So, yeah, if you want to check out my videos about my opinions about Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss, then the videos are on this channel. So go ahead, check it out. You definitely won't be disappointed by what I have to say about both of these shows. Well, that's the only other bit of anime news I got for 2019. Again, I can't believe I left these two off. These two were so important to the world of animation. It's surprising I didn't mention these in the first place. But yeah, now I did. So you could go ahead and check out all these animated projects for 2019 and see what your thoughts about these anime projects are. Okay, but now let's go straight back to the credits.